Welcome back to Good Morning Tobago on Tobago Updates, viewers. Well, we seem like we're going back to 2017, where we've had so many problems within our space when it comes to the Seabridge problems. One thing for sure that we know is working good is the passenger ferries, but we got to get the cargo situation sorted out. And we know, just to rehash the situation just a little bit, the Cabo Star experienced a fire 3 weeks ago. It's been out of service since. Monday, we had the MV Emprendedora on schedule to try to assist us a little bit. And I say a little bit, and we'll get into that conversation in just a minute. So, yeah, so that's where we're at. Yesterday, we had the chamber calling for a meeting with the Minister of Works and Transport and so on. And we actually have some news about that. So joining us on set, we have Mr. Demi Cruikshank, who is the former president and vice president of the Tobago division, vice chairman, of the Tobago division of the Tobago Chamber of Industry and Commerce, as well as Mr. Curtis William online. He's joining us online, and he is the chairman of the Tobago Chamber of Industry and Commerce. So, good morning and welcome to you both.
Good morning, Curtis, who is online.
Yes.
If he's online as yet. And good morning, Kandace. And here we go again, another year.
Another year. So we called yesterday for that meeting with the Minister of Works and Transport, Mr. Rohan Senanan, and of course the team that can make this happen here for Tobago. Because let's be real, the only people that can make this happen is the cabinet.
Yes. Well, by law, the person who has responsibility for the Seabridge, by law, is the Minister of Works and Transportation. The only person above him is obviously the Prime Minister, right? Under the fifth schedule, the THA has some, under the sixth schedule, the THA has some responsibility for ports. And that is a topic I think the THA should really pick up. Now, as we have this situation, the THA should activate their legal rights as to how they're going to manage the port and the airport situation. It's been something we've been talking about for too long. We have this meeting next week.
And we got confirmation that the meeting is going to happen.
In Tobago, we have confirmation. The minister spoke directly with the chairman. So over the weekend, the details will go through we'll go through the details in terms of where the meeting is going to be, what time, what date, and we're going to invite the head or the executive of all the stakeholders, the people who normally would use the vessel, the vendors association, the truckers, the everybody who uses the vessel. We're gonna have them come and send their representative so we can sit down and have a discussion as to the way forward, how we're gonna treat with the cargo situation. As you said in your opening speech, we had a situation where the fast ferries was a problem. We spent a lot of time, and that has been fixed. We have 2 brand new fast ferries. From all reports, they are working very fine. People are happy with the service. They're reliable, so you don't have any problems with them. We did not have too much of a problem with the Cabo Star, but the Cabo Star is also, she's an old vessel. And as you know, when you're going to age, you start getting problems. So this is some of the problems that we're seeing with the Cabo Star. So it's time to swap out with somebody, another vessel, and actually start the conversation in terms of building a vessel for Trinidad and Tobago.
Now, before we get into just some of what needs to be done, we have Mr. Williams online. Good morning and welcome to you, Mr. Williams.
Morning to our viewers on Tobago Updates, and morning to you guys.
Morning, Curtis.
Right. So, I mean, as an interim measure, we have the MV Emprendedora on working, going quick turnovers in terms of loading and unloading and so on. But give me an idea of how has that been working over the last couple of days?
Well, it was just yesterday was the first voyage, and it's pretty smooth, very impressive for us. Now it's on its way back to Tobago on its second voyage, and I guarantee that the business owners, suppliers, etc., will take full advantage of that replacement or stopgard for the time being as the Cabo Star is down for repairs. But I look forward to us taking full advantage of that vessel.
And Mr. Cruikshank, what is the latest information you have on it? Because I know that you might be one of the one of the business people that might have some trucks coming across.
Right. Well, it should be docking up this morning around 9 o'clock. Right. I just spoke to the port. They indicated that the vessel will arrive here at 9, and they're going to turn around that vessel as fast as possible. So it comes up, offload. We had a number of flatbeds coming up, a lot of containers coming up, and we're gonna offload. They have some trucks on it, vans. So we're gonna take off those, try to get it loaded back as quickly as possible to head back to Trinidad, because last night it left about 10:30, and some trucks were left back in Trinidad because obviously you can't take the volume. So we're hoping to go back down to pick up some of those trucks to bring them back up on the next sailing. So it's really a quick turnover period. As soon as the vessel dock up, it loads, come back up the road. It is taking about 10 hours, 10 to 12 hours basically to get to Tobago. So it's a long haul, but we have to make the best of it until by Monday.
Yes.
We hope that the Cabo Star should be back out on the run.
Now, we also know that, at least from speaking to a couple other business people yesterday, that, you know, when the Cabo Star came back, remember the Cabo Star went on dry dock in June.
For 2 weeks.
Right, so there was some restocking that happened in Tobago and some anticipation that, yes, some things will be disrupted on the system. But for people that, you know, import those long materials like the lumber and the steel and that sort of thing, they have not been able to replenish those stocks since before the Cabo Star went on dry dock. And then we know that the Emprendedora is not accommodating those because it can only accommodate, what, the 20-foot containers?
Well, they can't take 40-foot containers. They can't take the longer containers. But again, when you have all this cargo, remember, the Emprendedora is only taking 10% of the capacity of the Cabo Star. So you understand the volume of cargo that comes to Tobago on a daily basis. So on a daily basis, we have about 130 trucks to 150 trucks. This vessel is only taking about 35. So if you have 150 and you're only taking 30, that is just 1/5 of whatever you would take. So you have to understand that, one, you're gonna get some disruptions. We are trying to bring the heavier type cargo, the heavy type cargo, in terms of the lumber, the steel. I saw a lot of steel came in on the first shipment. We're trying to get some cement on the island. We're trying to get some blocks on the island, because I asked the guys to send some pictures in Trinidad. We see some blocks coming up on the flatbed. So we're getting those things back in the island. What should not happen, and Curtis will explain a little more of that, is that we need to have this vessel, the TNT Spirit, back up. Because if the TNT Spirit was up, we would have been able to pull some of these heavier cargo. Curtis has some more information on that, and we hope that that is part of the discussion with the minister.
Yes, Mr. Williams, because I mean, and I really would like you to explain that a bit, because we had a senator here a couple of days ago, and he dismissed the idea that the TNT Spirit could handle those large amounts of cargo. So, I mean, we really need to set that record straight.
Yeah, definitely, and that's part of our primary objective of this meeting with the minister, because we're going to discuss the current state of the entire island Seabridge, and we identify any pressing issues and challenges that may require immediate attention. Also, we're going to be exploring potential solutions and strategy to enhance the efficiency and the reliability and the sustainability of the Seabridge. So when we look at these things now, Kandace, we're going to be exploring all opportunities there, and that kind of reliability and efficiency within the Seabridge. And not leaving that alone, we want to look at the comprehensive understanding of the procurement process for the replacement of the cargo vessel. including the timeline and key milestones, because this is very, very important that we look at these things and address them in that meeting coming up. And then we want to establish that kind of a framework that involves all stakeholders, and because we don't have that framework that involves all of us, including the THE. So we want to look at how we can establish that type of framework coming up from that meeting.
Now, one thing that was interesting that came out of the press conference yesterday was the fact that the last time the Minister of Works and Transport, Rohan Sinanan, met with the Chamber was in 2018. And since then, he has been telling the country that all is well with the Seabridge, they fixed it, they have no issue, the government was the savior, and so on. Why? Why hasn't there been a meeting since 2018?
And those are the things we're going to look at, Kandace, as one of our agenda items, because we need to bridge that gap between the central government and the THA and the stakeholders. We ought to have that continuous dialogue to bring efficiency to the island with the inter-island sea bridge. That's the only way we can go forward. And so we want to bridge that gap that have been established for some strange reason, and get the all parties in talking together once more again.
Mm-hmm. Let us be thinking here. In the past, we had a quarterly meeting with the Port Authority, and if the needs be, we invite the minister. So we want to go back to that arrangement. We have not had that type of arrangement in the present. But in the past, we have, and as the minister said, we have a very good working relationship with the minister and the stakeholders. So this is a committee was led by the chamber. So we want to go back to that. We had COVID, we had people trying to get their businesses started back. Some people in real crap, I must say right now, because they are trying to get their businesses back up. But we need to put back that committee, those meetings back on the table. The THA was part of the discussion. Yes. So the THA would have been involved and know what is happening. They know what happened in terms of the vessels. Because let me just give a little history. We were part of the cabinet appointed committee, the chamber, in terms of the acquiring the two fast ferries when we had the whole fiasco in 2017. And in one of the meetings, I remembered quite well, we had the discussion with INCAT and Ostal. And I walked out of the meeting and called a THA administrator. I said, listen, tell me what you think we should get on these fast ferries. Mm. And her words was, Demi, can we have a VIP section on the boat? That was it, eh? And I went back in the meeting and we put on the table, listen, we want a VIP, which is now called the tourist class part of the vessel. So we need to forget about the politics now. This is governance. This is administration. We need to have the chief secretary. We can't be meeting with the minister and not have the chief secretary and his people present. They must come and say, listen, this is what, if the politics, they will take the politics outside of the room. But in terms of the meeting and having things done, we want to say, listen, the THA must be aware of what is happening. And that has worked well in the past, and it's something that we have to go back to. Whatever the bantering with the present THA and the Prime Minister and the cabinet, that has nothing to do with the business community. What has to do with the business community is to get efficiency. We had a problem in the past, we fixed the fast ferry. Bridgeman came in and we had a cargo star that worked perfect for 6 years. That vessel is not working as we want, so we want it to be changed. So we have to do the process now in terms of getting a new cargo vessel or a replacement cargo vessel, a permanent replacement cargo vessel for the cargo star. And then the discussion has to start in terms of the way forward to getting a new cargo vessel dedicated to Trinidad and Tobago. Mm-hmm.
And then what about the relationship with the Port Authority in terms of having that TNT Spirit as your backup, whether it's for passengers or for cargo?
We want to hear from the committee. What are the ideas? It may be a cost factor, and we all know it probably is a cost factor. why the Spirit is not back into service as yet. But at least let us know what's happening so that we will have a better understanding and we will be able to plan accordingly. So, Kandace, these are the things that is important. And just as Mr. John, Demi John mentioned, we're looking forward to bring the history back to the fold and let the team understand what transpired then and what could happen today, getting a better understanding. And the teaching must be part of it. As indicated, we're not into politics. We into fixing Tobago. We into getting the lives of the residents of this island a bit than it is. And so hence the reason why we want to stay away from the political part and all the bantering, and let's get down to brass tacks and have conversation between the THA and the central government as smooth as possible.
So even if we get a commitment out of the meeting next week that we are going to have a new cargo vessel, what is the timeline looking like before that can be a reality?
The last time we spoke with the manufacturers of cargo vessels, it takes about 18 months to 2 years, basically. From an agreement signing today, it will take you about 18 months to get that vessel in the water and on the way to Trinidad and Tobago. Most of these manufacturers are in Europe, right? So and then it takes the vessel about a month to sail to get down here. What is important in this meeting is that, like Secretary Tasha Boris, she needs to be in a meeting like this because she's the Secretary for Tourism and Culture. So she needs to say, listen, we have this festival in January. We have the young people party, Island Crashers, right? The young people think Island Crashers. We have Heritage Festival. We have the Tobago Carnival. We have Blue Food. So we want double sailings. We want all kind of thing running and double sailings for these festivals. So that is what we want to achieve coming out of this meeting. It's not just about the cargo stuff. It's about the holistic approach, how we will deal with the Seabridge operating between Trinidad and Tobago.
All right, well, we're going to take a quick break. So viewers, please don't go anywhere. We'll be back with Mr. Demi John Cruikshank and Mr. Curtis Williams as we continue to discuss what's going on with our Seabridge.
Tobago updates. Good morning, Tobago.
Welcome back to Good Morning Tobago on Tobago Updates. Viewers, we are continuing our discussions this morning with the chairman of the Tobago Division of the Chamber of Industry and Commerce, Mr. Curtis Williams, who is on with us online, and we have Demi John Cruikshank, the vice chair, who is on with us on set. So I want to get from you guys, what's been the conversations like with the THA in terms of trying to address issues with the Tobago, with the Tobago businesses on the island?
Well, Kandace, we had one meeting with the chief secretary months ago, and we're hoping to get a follow-up meeting, and because they are pertinent and important issues that need to be addressed. I know the national budget is the biggest thing on the card now, but we're seeing coming to the end of the financial year that some of our business and some of our members and other non-members a bit struggling with meeting their commitments due to financing. So we want to address that situation about financing and debt owing to suppliers and contractors. We want to get that out the way. Kandace, this thing have been bantering around for quite some time now, and let's put it to rest. Let's get all that payment of contractors and suppliers that have been, suffering for the last couple of months into years, and let's move to a next era. Let's take this thing to a next level. And our conversation now could be how we can develop the space, so we can look for direct investment coming into the island. But Kandace, we can't go forward knowing that we have all these debts. We can't meet our month-to-month commitments, and the banks is on our backs. Definitely, it's really hard for us.
And Mr. Cruikshank, I guess you could probably even give us another perspective on this. We had that multi-stakeholder meeting about a month ago, was it?
Yeah.
or a few weeks ago, when the
And
situation
Mount Irvin-
on
and
Mount
Mount Irvin
Irvin, when
Hotel.
the situation first came about, along with what's going on, with what's been going on the air bridge, because let's not forget the air bridge is not exactly very efficient right now. But you know, have we had any more movement where that's a concern in terms of fostering that greater relationship between the THA and the Tobago business community, especially where transportation is concerned between the islands?
No, and that is why we specifically said in that press conference yesterday, we want the chief secretary and his team to be part of the discussion. This is not our job, right? Our job is to open our business to make money. The state and the state agencies are the ones who are supposed to provide a reliable service for the business community and the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. That's it. That's it. This is not what we're supposed to be doing. It's affecting us. So that is why we are on TV. That is why we are calling on the minister. That is why we are lobbying. We have people who are elected, people who are paid a salary every day by both the THA and the central government to fix these problems. So they should be the ones who invited us to our meeting to find out, not we inviting them to our meeting. And this is a 10 years problem for a long time. As long as I can remember myself in the chamber. This is a problem that we've been having, that we've been running back and forth. And our businesses are in shambles now because we have been doing this for too long. This is not our job. So we're going to be bringing the minister, the chief secretary together, have them kiss, hold hands, and say, listen, you all run this thing, do your job, and bring us into the room when you all find a proper solution. We can give you all the recommendations that the business community want in terms of the vessel, and which you have.
Yes.
I just got a text message, and the THA has technical people who knows about these vessels, right? Among them. So the vessel carries about 65,000 tons on the ramp. So we can take the weight. The specs are there on the ramps. The TNT Spirit can take the thing. If you look at the specification of that vessel was really a military vessel to carry tanks. So if you could carry a tank, you surely could carry a chocker blocks, right? So we have to understand when we have the discussion, we have the technical specs of the vessel.
Yes.
There are some people who is in the THA who knows about that vessel quite well, in the back of their hands. And that is why we're asking the chief secretary, bring along your team. Let me have a discussion. Let the chamber go back to work and sell the products, get the thing, and you and the minister and the other people work out the details of getting a proper vessel. And you all we will be part of the thing, but we should not be the lead of it. Because when we spend time every day in press conference, in thing, it's since 5:30, Mr. Williams on the radio, I heard his voice this morning, since about 6 o'clock on our program this morning. That is not our job.
Yeah.
Our job is to open up, make some money, pay our loans, and pay our staff at the end of the month, and being able to say, right, business is good in Tobago. I wish one day we can come on this program and say, hey, here what's going on. Kandace, things so good in Tobago, things working right or wrong. You have to come to that position. And the people who can make that is the people in authority.
Now, what's interesting is that throughout this whole fiasco, whether it be on the Seabridge, whether it be on the air bridge, we have our Tobago ministers, we have our Tobago senators, those people in government actually defending what's been going on, and not seeming to want to listen to concerns.
Kandace, what we see is the connection between the politician and the people. We are the business owners. We are like the people, and these politicians need to connection. Our representative to be East and West, even our good list senator, and all these representatives from Tobago who sits in the parliament, they need to bridge that gap. They need to get connected to the people, the small man and the business owners. They're definitely speaking about. These folks have been disconnected for some time, so hence the reason why the conversation don't sound like if it's all inclusive. Hence the reason why we're asking these representatives to bridge the gap and meet with the people. I can't tell last when the representative asked to meet with the chamber, and the same thing Mr. Cruikshank mentioned. Kandace, we are just a lobby group that's trying to seek the best interests for the people of Tobago and the business community. We are not paid for this, and there are people who are being paid taxpayers' money that will engage the stakeholders like ourselves, the Tobago division of the chamber, and other stakeholders within the space, and get that meaningful dialogue going forward. But we see that we have to engage them, but we pay them. And that's a big problem, Kandace. That need to be bridged, and they need to get to reality, come on the ground, understand what's happening on the ground, and they will have a better sense of going forward.
All right. Well, I guess that's how we're going to have to end it. I don't know if Mr. Cruikshank, you want to say anything as we're wrapping up this morning?
No, I think we're on a good path. I think it was a good press conference yesterday. I think the chamber has done what the chamber is supposed to do. And we leave it to the powers that be when they come to the table whenever next week. We will say, hey, the floor is open to you all. Make the decisions, do what you have to do for the betterment of the citizens of Tobago and also the business community, especially the business community.
Yes, because of course, without a strong private sector, things do not look so good for the economy of Tobago. Yeah. All right, so I want to thank you both for being on with us and for having that conversation with us. And of course, viewers, we are going to be continuing to follow this situation, especially with that meeting next week. Tobago Updates is going to have you covered. So we're going to take a quick break and come back with some more conversations. So don't go away.
Rise up to a brand new dawning as the passion start to rise.